Everyone thinks they know what to buy in a crisis until it actually happens. The smartest picks aren't where the crowds are. These overlooked items vanish fast, and the people who know, they're already checking out. Water. Why the obvious choice fails. Water is always the first thing people think about, and that instinct is not wrong. The problem is how people act on it. In every major emergency where stores remain open for even a short window, bottled water is one of the first items to disappear. This pattern has been documented repeatedly during hurricanes and large-scale outages. The reason is simple. Water feels urgent, visible, and easy to understand, so everyone goes for the same shelves at the same time. What most people overlook is that bottled water is not the most efficient way to secure supply in those early hours. It is limited by packaging, storage space, and availability. Once it is gone, there is no quick replacement. A more effective approach focuses on capacity, using what is already available at home. A bathtub, when filled early, can store a large amount of water. Using a clean liner or a heavy-duty barrier helps keep that water protected. This method is widely recognized in emergency preparedness guidance because it allows a household to secure far more water than they could realistically carry out of a store. The timing is what makes this strategy work. Municipal systems usually maintain pressure for a period after disruptions begin, but that window is unpredictable. Filling storage early turns that uncertainty into an advantage. Bottled water is still useful when available, but relying on it as the main solution creates unnecessary risk. The people who understand this don't compete in crowded aisles. They secure supply before the rush even peaks. Power. The difference between temporary and sustainable. Power is another area where most people default to the simplest option without thinking about duration. Disposable batteries are easy to grab, and that convenience makes them a popular choice. However, they come with a clear limitation. Once they are used, they cannot be reused. In a situation that extends beyond a couple of days, that becomes a serious issue. Rechargeable lithium batteries offer a different approach. They last longer per cycle compared to standard alkaline batteries and can be used repeatedly. When combined with a small solar charging device, they create a system that can continue functioning without constant resupply. Portable solar panels are widely available and designed to charge small electronics, including phones and lights. This is not an experimental setup. It is a practical solution that has been used in outdoor and emergency scenarios for years. And the key difference here is sustainability. Instead of relying on a fixed number of uses, this setup allows for ongoing use as long as there is access to sunlight. That changes how long essential devices remain functional. People who plan for longer durations focus on systems rather than single-use items. That shift in thinking creates a more reliable outcome over time. Food, calories over familiarity. Food choices during emergencies often reflect habit more than necessity. Shelves filled with ready-to-eat meals, soups, and familiar brands are usually the first to empty. These items are easy to recognize and require little preparation, which makes them appealing in stressful situations. However, they are not always the most efficient option when it comes to energy. Calorie density becomes an important factor when supply is limited. Foods that provide more energy per serving reduce the amount needed overall. Items like coconut milk and certain shelf-stable fats are higher in calories and often remain available longer because they are not viewed as immediate meal solutions. From a practical standpoint, they offer more value in terms of energy storage. This does not mean completely ignoring ready-to-eat foods. It means balancing familiarity with efficiency. Choosing items that deliver higher energy in smaller quantities helps extend supply without increasing storage needs. People who focus on this aspect tend to move away from crowded aisles and towards sections that remain stocked, giving them an advantage without additional effort. Fuel. The hidden dependency. Fuel is rarely the first thing people think about, but it quickly becomes one of the most important. When power goes out, standard cooking methods stop working. That affects more than just preparing meals. It limits the ability to heat water, maintain hygiene, and perform basic tasks that rely on heat. Portable camping stoves and fuel canisters provide a simple and effective solution. These tools are designed for outdoor use, but they function just as well in emergency situations when used according to safety guidelines. A small supply of fuel can support multiple needs, making it a high-value addition to any preparedness plan. What makes fuel different from other items is its role as a dependency. Many other resources rely on it to remain useful. Without a way to apply heat, certain foods cannot be prepared and water cannot be treated effectively. This interconnected role increases its importance. People who recognize this secure fuel early often without facing the same level of competition seen in other aisles. Health supplies, what actually matters. Medical supplies are another category where demand rises quickly. Basic items like pain relievers and bandages are often among the first to disappear. While these items are important, focusing only on them can leave gaps in preparedness. A more complete approach includes supplies for wound care and minor injuries. Antibiotic ointments, closure strips, and properly packaged dressings help manage small issues before they become serious. In situations where access to professional care is limited, these items take on added importance. It is important to rely on regulated and clearly labeled products in this category. Consistency and safety are critical when it comes to health. Using products that meet established standards ensures they perform as expected. The goal is to support basic care effectively, not to experiment with alternatives that may not be reliable. Fire and heat. Reliability over convenience. Fire starting tools are often treated as secondary items, but they play a central role in multiple areas. Disposable lighters are widely used because they are simple and familiar. However, they depend on fuel and can fail under certain conditions, especially when exposed to moisture. More durable options, such as spark-based fire starters, offer a longer-lasting alternative. They are less affected by environmental conditions and can be used repeatedly. However, they require practice to use effectively. This is not something to learn under pressure. Having experience with the tool before it is needed makes a significant difference. A balanced approach involves having more than one method available. Each tool has strengths and limitations. Combining them increases reliability and reduces the risk of failure. This layered strategy ensures that fire starting capability remains consistent even when conditions change. Hygiene and practical use items. Hygiene products are often overlooked during the initial rush, but their importance becomes clear quickly. Maintaining cleanliness supports overall well-being and helps prevent additional problems from developing over time. Some items in this category also serve multiple purposes. Absorbent products, for example, can assist with basic care when used correctly. In addition to personal use, hygiene items tend to become more valuable as availability decreases. They are easy to store and consistently needed, which increases their usefulness beyond immediate situations. The advantage here is both practical and strategic. Securing these items early avoids shortages later and provides flexibility in how they are used. People who include hygiene in their planning are better prepared for longer durations. Hydration support more than just water. Water is essential, but it is not always enough on its own. The body requires electrolytes to maintain proper function, especially in conditions where heat or physical activity increases fluid loss. This is where rehydration solutions become important. Products designed for hydration support typically contain higher concentrations of essential salts compared to standard sports drinks. They are formulated to restore balance more effectively. These items are often located in sections that receive less attention during emergencies, which makes them easier to access. Before moving forward, if this kind of practical breakdown is useful, take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Proper hydration supports energy levels, focus, and overall stability. In situations where conditions are challenging, maintaining that balance becomes critical. Adding hydration support to a supply list strengthens the overall approach without requiring significant space or cost. Water treatment. Long-term thinking. Having access to water is only part of the solution. Ensuring that water is safe to use is equally important. When systems are disrupted, contamination becomes a real concern. Chemical treatment methods provide a way to address this issue effectively when used correctly. Certain compounds are capable of disinfecting large volumes of water. However, accuracy is essential. Proper ratios must be followed to ensure safety. Reliable guidelines are widely available and should always be used as a reference. The advantage of this approach is efficiency. A small amount of treatment material can process a significant quantity of water. This makes it one of the most cost-effective solutions available. It shifts the focus from short-term supply to long-term sustainability, which becomes increasingly important as time passes. Utility items, the most overlooked category. Some of the most useful items in an emergency are also the least obvious. Heavy-duty plastic bags are a strong example of this. Their durability allows them to serve multiple roles, including storage, protection, and improvised solutions. This versatility reduces the need for specialized equipment. Instead of relying on multiple single-use items, one product can adapt to different situations. This simplifies preparation while increasing overall capability. The reason these items remain available longer is that they are not immediately recognized as essential. However, once their range of uses becomes clear, their value increases significantly. Including them in a supply plan adds flexibility without adding complexity. Vision and precision tools. Small tools that improve visibility and precision can have a significant impact on daily tasks. Reading glasses and magnifying lenses help with activities that require detail, such as reading instructions or handling small components. In addition to improving clarity, magnifying lenses can also assist with fire starting under the right conditions by focusing sunlight. This adds another layer of functionality without increasing the number of items needed. Maintaining the ability to see clearly and work accurately supports a wide range of tasks. As conditions become more challenging, these capabilities become more important. Including simple tools that support them strengthens overall preparedness. The first 6 hours of any major disruption are defined by decisions. Most people act on instinct, focusing on what feels urgent in the moment. That approach leads to crowded aisles and limited results. A different approach focuses on what remains useful over time. Choosing items that last longer, serve multiple purposes, and avoid high-demand areas creates a stronger position from the start. This is not about having more resources. It is about using available time more effectively. The difference between reacting and preparing often comes down to awareness. Understanding where value actually lies allows for better decisions without needing more effort. Now think about this carefully. If access to supplies was limited and time was running out, would you follow the same path as everyone else? Or would you choose differently based on what you know now? Share your answer and take a look at the next video to see how these choices hold up when the situation continues beyond the first few hours.